Welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute devotional podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse. Broadcast from the ever-beautiful Sharonville, Ohio, on the sunny side of Cincinnati. Hey, welcome back to Daily Dose Radio. Let me just tell you that 4 out of 12 Uber drivers say Daily Dose Radio is great. And they can't be wrong. So we're right here in Psalm 119. We're looking today at 112, verse 112, and that's the last verse in the noon division. And we're looking at just one verse today, and we're going to close out our theme today of time. Our theme of time has been all through here. We've looked at, I have been afflicted continually or overly much, too much. My soul is in my hand continually. I mean, it just stays there. And then we had yesterday, for your forever testimonies, or I have taken possession of your testimonies forever, for my heart rejoices in them. Of course, I said yesterday I really like that translation, forever testimonies, because they are forever testimonies. They're eternal. Your eternal testimonies. That may be a better translation. And then today we come to 112. Well, let me read my translation for you. I inclined my heart to do your statutes, to the eternal end. Just a couple things we need to deal with here. And the first one is, notice how this is first person, a description that he's given to the Lord. Of course, all of this has been first person, hasn't it? I have sworn, I will establish, I have been afflicted, I have not forgotten, I have taken possession of, and now we come to, I inclined my heart. We usually, when we read this word inclined, we're thinking of it in reference to God inclining his ear. That is, he's bending down to listen. He's moving towards our position so that he can hear us. Of course, he doesn't need to move towards us to hear us. He can hear us from where he is. But in this case, we have not the Lord moving, but we're moving. We are inclining. So we're moving towards some other position. And I'm inclining my heart toward what? Well, I'm inclining my heart to do the statutes. So that vow, well, that vow just seems to have lordship over this whole section, doesn't it? He's sworn and will establish, and he's keeping the righteous judgments even in affliction. And he says at the very end of this, my heart is inclined. So I'm continuing to move toward the position of doing the statutes more and more. You see, we start at a certain point, and then we continue in the direction of the statutes, keeping them, walking in them, going further and further into holiness. And that's a wonderful thing, and that's exactly what 112 is all about. I'm inclining my heart to do your statutes. So every day, even in the midst of affliction, even while the wicked are digging pits for me, no matter what, because I've made a vow and I'm keeping it, I've established it, it's not going to stop, I'm not going to go back on my vow, I'm keeping the statutes, and so my heart continues, even under the barrage of all those things of hurtfulness that surround me, still I'm doing the statutes. And then we have our word again, eternal, or forever. And the language, I've just translated it very woodenly here, to the forever end, or to the eternal end. And we could just say forever. That's okay. But the word end is here. So there's an end to something. There's an eternal end to something. And he says, when we reach that eternal end, that's how long this vow is going to continue. It's never going to stop. I'm always going to be keeping this vow to the eternal end, whatever that might be, and whenever that might be. It is almost an oxymoron, isn't it, to say that there is an eternal end. I mean, how can you have an end if it's eternal? To have this eternal end, or let's just translate it, forever. So I've inclined my heart to do your statutes, and if there ever is an eternal end, then, by the way, that's how long I'm going to be inclining my heart. Well, I hope you'll incline your ear towards me next week as we look at the next division, beginning in verse 113 on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. I'm David Smith. The music today has been performed by the Bluegrass Experiment. Thanks again for listening. I'll see you next time on Daily Dose Radio.